Greetings, everybody. I did tell you back in 2017 that if World War III is coming, it's coming with Russia. No North Korea, no China. They're too dependent with trade with China. Not with the Middle East, not with the Taliban. We're going to World War III with Russia. And I told you this back in 2017. I told you back in 2017 when the Russian asset took office that we would go to World War III with Russia. Regardless if it was Trump or Biden that won in 2020, Vladimir Putin was going to go to war because he's 70 years of age. He may not have much time left. He's going to definitely exert his power before he leaves the earth. There's just no way. This guy's a sociopath. This guy is on a power trip. He's going to exert his influence in the region. The KGB's never dead. They're going to try to retake all of their old territories that they've lost with the collapse of the USSR. And Putin, cleverly, he knew either way. If Trump was going to win, Trump was going to go full Russian asset in his second term. All the way. Trump would have been like, here you go, Vlad. It's all yours. Simply to stay out. Here you go. If Biden won, it doesn't matter. Biden's useless. Biden is over his head. He is demented. Biden's a fool either way. Vlad knows this. The bumbling fool Joe Biden, the Russian asset Donald Trump, it doesn't matter. The military-industrial complex has war. And so do the Rothschilds, because they surely are financing the Russian military. So that's the clever part about Putin saying, oh, you see, Donald Trump, he's not a Russian asset. Joe Biden's giving Russia everything he wanted. Either way, Biden, the bumbling fool, or Trump, the Russian asset, was going to give everything Putin wanted in his second term. Joe Biden has business dealings in the Ukraine, which you got to ask yourself, okay, if he has business dealings in the Ukraine, would he not want war at all to threaten his companies? Right? He would want to protect his investments by wanting to prevent war. But you see how much of an idiot he is? Europe is so dependent on Russian oil with a pipeline that goes from Russia all the way to Germany. Europe can do nothing right now because they're dependent on that Russian oil. What could that bumbling fool do? Place real sanctions on Russia instead of placing sanctions on the two territories that Vladimir Putin declared was his territory. Right? Joe could have said, hey, Vlad, you're going to, if you don't stop right now, if you're going to cut off European oil, I'm sending that oil from America to Europe. We're going to cut off your oil. I'm going to supply Europe with all the oil they need. Right? But no, we don't have that at all. Instead, probably this will raise the price of oil. I imagine if we sent that oil to Europe, then that suppressed supply just goes back up again. If it's simply replenished from America, sent immediately to Europe, that is, if we want to prevent this conflict right away and prevent another war. But that's not what the elite want. The elite want another war. So Putin is just going to walk in. Europe's going to get scared. They don't want their oil cut off. And America's not going to send the oil straight to Europe when we need them to. This is straight out of the playbook of Adolf Hitler. The Anchlauss, the annexing of Czechoslovakia and Austria, German-speaking locations with a lot of German-speaking peoples. They belong to the motherland. They've been oppressed by the current countries. They belong back to the motherland, and that's how Adolf Hitler justified those invasions of those annexed territories in 1938, 1939. Same thing with Georgia. Same thing with Crimea. Same thing with Donetsk and the other place that Putin took over. These are oppressed people. They belong to Russia. They belong back. They've been oppressed by the ongoing government. This is right out of the Hitler playbook. They belong to Russia. Russia's united. Bring prosperity. Bring glory to the Slavic people. That's what Vladimir Putin wants. He wants to bring back the USSR. Putin is also scared of the fact that if NATO occupies the bordering territories, that Putin is not able to attack and reclaim some old Slavic territories. He wants a Russian empire. He wants a land buildup. He wants to reunite all of the Slavic territories. That's what Vladimir Putin wants to do right now. And you see, if NATO is going to go to Ukraine or whatnot, that's going to threaten Vladimir Putin. He's going to use force that way if he feels that they're going to occupy neighboring states. And number two, he doesn't want those neighboring states to experience Western democracy. If they experience Western democracy, then the Russian people will want to go away from a quasi-autocratic federation. And that's the second thing that Putin is scared of when we send NATO to Ukraine, or if we allow those other neighboring countries to join NATO. That's what Putin is scared of. And he's going to surely act right now. Biden's doing nothing. He's completely useless. Either way, the deep state gets what they want. They get to sell weapons. They get to make money. The military-industrial complex gets to make money. Joe Biden's certainly not protecting his investments in Ukraine. If you want to prevent a war, just send the oil straight to Europe. If Russia's going to cut off Europe away from their oil, I mean, a crash could happen any minute. If you see the price of oil go up, it's certainly going to affect America. Would it affect the world supply like that? But a war is imminent. Just everything that's happened, transpired so far, the lesser of two evils is greater than a dictator like Vladimir Putin. And the fact is American lives should be kept out, but we want to immediately cut Russia off from the rest of the world, to hit Russia with all these sanctions and send oil to Europe. But that's obviously not going to happen. The deep state wants to sell weapons. They want to fight. They want to sell weapons. They certainly do want to fight. Putin will certainly attack. I don't think this is going to help the 24 prospects, but if they really do need a war, seeing how this has been nothing but a Republican-led administration. So if they want war, I think they went full Republican, the Biden-Harris administration. They went full Republican, having a war, having a conflict to get America to support them or what have you. But no shots need to be fired at all. We can quickly end this conflict right away. We can cripple Russia's military, and we can cut them off and freeze Putin's assets and freeze the Russian oligarchs' wealth. But that's just not going to happen right now. We will see a war. We'll see weapons sold. The MIC wins. Joe Biden wins. Everybody wins. But you got to understand why Obama, too, life path of peacemaker, life path was selected, because the Cold War was over. The Cold War was over. The two life path is a diplomat life path. They're very diplomatic in nature. They're very peaceful in nature. They put Obama in there because they wanted him to say the Cold War was over. When, as a matter of fact, Mitt Romney was actually right about that the Cold War is not over, that the KGB is still in charge of the Russian government with their nerve attacks to other people's. All I have to say is to people defying Vladimir Putin this, you got to send your ass to Russia and you got to speak out against the Russian government and see how you get treated over there. Because Vladimir Putin is no hero or whatnot. Sure, America is a bad guy. I'm not saying America is a good guys at all, but the greater of the evils is anti-democratic, violent, mafia-style politicians, and that's who Vladimir Putin and the Russian oligarchs are. NATO and the warmongers at MIC, the lesser of two evils. But you're not dealing with any good guys when you're talking about a World War III between the West and Russia, because the West reasons are very cynical in nature. The printing of money to create weapons, and then the stock for the retired military contractors are all a bunch of criminals. We can easily cut off Russia, but I think some comments I've been reading have made a good point that if U.S. leadership is so weak in this and China's sitting over there watching, don't be surprised if there's a land grab for Taiwan too, if they're watching to see how the Biden-Harris administration responds and reacts to the ongoing Russian crisis. Zelensky was a U.S. puppet. Don't forget, Ukraine had their own coup d'etat in 2013. Zelensky is like Neville Chamberlain. He says, "Oh, nothing is happening. They're not going to attack." But he's a U.S. puppet by nature. Of course, Russia was going to invade. He's deluded because he's a puppet government of America. He's purposely saying this, or they knew this guy was a bumbling fool. This guy was a puppet. He was going to say, "Oh, it's all good. Russia's not going. It's not going to invade." Whoops, we're not ready for it. We got to get ready to attack. And what happened before Biden took office was Donald Trump was lifting the sanctions with Russia. He was making Russia stronger, and Russia was sitting here saying, "Hey, we need to dismantle NATO." But Putin can't attack precisely with exact precision until you absolutely get rid of NATO. So Trump getting rid of NATO is actually playing into World War III in the Russians' hands. Don't forget, Trump is Russian. He's a Russian asset. He owes a lot of money to Russian oligarchs. So he made the Russians much stronger throughout his past 2 years. Don't forget the Helsinki summit where Donald Trump was like, "Yeah, I have your word, Vlad. I don't trust the U.S. intelligence agencies. I don't trust them at all." Donald Trump crippling America with the pandemic. Vladimir Putin likes these useless puppets, but that's who the elite want in the first place to create a war. Actually, you need to read more into Donald Trump's handlings with the Russian oligarchs. You got to understand why he lifted sanctions with Russia. He made Russia a much stronger position than they are strategically to invade Ukraine and surrounding Russian territories. That's the reality. This, "Oh, let's get rid of NATO," all that, this plays into an invasion into Slavic territories. Biden is useless and Donald Trump is Russian intelligence. What do you get with the end equation? You get World War III. The Olympic Games at Berlin when Adolf Hitler was in charge. And then World War II. And you have Putin hosting the World Cup, as I talked about in 2018. There you go. World War III. Same exact playbook from Adolf Hitler. It is the springtime. This is the good time to attack versus the winter time. When Napoleon tried to attack in the winter, when Adolf Hitler tried to attack in the winter, this is the perfect time to attack if you're Vladimir Putin. And he's winning the game of chess right now. And Biden is starting war, and Donald Trump helped with the buildup to begin the war. Actually, they were in Trump Tower, Trump Jr. and a bunch of Russian lawyers looking to dig dirt on Hillary Clinton and to give them an inside intelligence into the Clinton campaign. This is the reality. World War III is here. The Trump asset was to give Russia everything they wanted easily, but it didn't matter because the DNC putting the useless old man in there was going to fuck things up. Don't underestimate his ability to fuck things up. I don't say you haven't been warned by Barack Obama.